The Earth has millions of lakes. Nobody knows how many exactly, but scientists say over 100 million. The northern hemisphere has more lakes than the southern, with Canada having at least 2 million, while Finland has into the thousands. They vary from the largest inland lake, the Caspian Sea, which is bigger than the area of Germany, to tiny ponds of 0.1 square kilometers, or 0.04 square miles. Lakes can be deep, like Lake Baikal, which is deeper than many seas or shallower than the average backyard pool. Lakes can be longer than a river. Tanganyika in Africa is 670 kilometers, or 418 miles long, and borders 4 countries. Lakes can be freshwater or salty, permanent or seasonal. Typically, lakes have a river or stream that outflows the water. Sometimes they just evaporate or seep into the ground. Some are formed by earth movement, landslides, or glaciers. Some by volcanic activity or even a meteorite. Lakes are often formed when rivers change course, or at the bottom of a waterfall. Man-made lakes behind dams also count. Lakes are found on all 7 continents, from Nepal's high altitudes to the ocean's shorelines. There are cave lakes, subglacial lakes in Antarctica, desert lakes, and tropical ones. Many great cities were formed around lakes and relied on a lake as their main navigable route for trade. Lakes have become pilgrimage sites, tourist destinations, and sports venues. Lakes are also where so many teenagers get killed in horror movies. So many horror lakes. So many. So many. Today we present 25 unique lakes. Number 1. The Cave Lake. Melisani Lake, on the island of Kefalonia in Greece, is a subterranean lake covered partially by the surrounding cave with an opening where the cave roof collapsed. The lake has a mix of freshwater and seawater. According to Greek mythology, Melisani was the cave of the nymphs. In the 1960s, archaeologists discovered several artifacts from the 4th and 3rd century BC, suggesting that it was a place of worship dedicated to the god Pan and the nymphs. Today, Melisani Lake is accessible to tourists who can marvel at the crystal clear water and look at the bottom covered in stones. Number 2. The Red Lake. Laguna Colorada, or the Red Lagoon, is a shallow saltwater lake in the Bolivian Andes, close to the border with Chile. Laguna Colorada gets its reddish color from red sediments and pigmentation of algae, which is food for a rare breed of flamingos. The area is home to various llamas, alpacas, foxes, and pumas. The lake also has these large white pools caused by borax deposits, and borax is the powdery white substance used for cleaning in the kitchen. Number 3. The Flamingo Lake. Flamingos love shallow lakes, and their preferred one was Lake Nakuru in Kenya. It was, because around 2014 the water level increased, and the flamingos moved away and only recently began returning. This very shallow lake with a depth of 30 centimeters, or 1 foot, was the home of over 2 million pink flamingos. Nakuru also attracts rhinos, leopards, and over 400 species of birds. Quiz time. How do you call a group of flamingos? Flamboyant. Number 4. The Touristy Lake. Imagine 2 million flamingos. Now think of 1 million people. This is how many visit annually Plitvice Lakes in Croatia. These spectacular lakes are part of the largest and oldest national park and one of the most visited attractions in the country. Plitvice are 16 interconnected karst lakes formed into a canyon with multiple tufa lakes, caves, and waterfalls, creating a beautiful area to explore for hours on several different trails. The minerals and gases in the lakes create vibrant blue colors which change with the seasons, making the park a year-round destination. Number 5. The Green Lake. Grunner Z in the southeast of Austria means the Green Lake, after its emerald green water. Grunner Z is surrounded by 3 mountains and almost completely disappears in the winter. It fills with snow water in the spring and becomes 5 to 10 times deeper. Because the water is so clean, many divers come to the lake to see the surrounding nature from the bottom. They even have a bridge and a bench underwater. As usual, because the lake became very popular, authorities had to restrict diving. Give people a lake and they'll put a bench in it. Number 6. The Sunken Forest Lake. Lake Kandy in Kazakhstan also hides an underwater secret. The lake was formed in 1911 during a massive magnitude 8 earthquake. A landslide formed 400 meters or 1,300 feet long natural dam, blocking a mountain gorge and filled by glacial meltwater. The lake submerged the forest with spruce trees emerging from the water. The trees are still alive despite losing their branches and bark. The barren trees and the bluish-greenish water create a ghostly feeling. The area is often called the Sunken Forest, or the Birch Tree Lake. Number 7. The Spotted Lake. Near the Osoyoos Lake in British Columbia, Canada, lies the strange Spotted Lake. The Spotted Lake is rich in minerals, such as magnesium sulfate, sodium sulfates, calcium, silver, and titanium. When most of the water in the lake evaporates over the summer, colorful mineral deposits, or spots, pop up. For centuries, the Spotted Lake has been a sacred site for the local indigenous tribes who managed to protect it against development. The Canadian Broadcasting Corporation once called it the most magical place in Canada. Sorry, next time, Saskatchewan. Number 8. The Jellyfish Lake. The Jellyfish Lake in the tiny western Pacific country of Palau is famous for its, well, jellyfish. It is a marine lake connected to the ocean through fissures and tunnels. It is full of two types of jellyfish, golden and moon. The golden jellyfish migrate throughout the day, and the moon one during the night. Aw, how cute. These species in the lake have evolved to be substantially different from their close relatives, living in the nearby lagoons, and they never interbred. The lake is also quite unique because it has upper and lower layers that never mix. If you plan to visit, get a permit and be ready to meet with the saltwater crocodiles who also frequent the lake. Okay, not that cute. Number 9. The Boiling Lake. The Boiling Lake on the Caribbean island of Dominica is a volcanic hole filled with water that still emits steam and gases. These volcanic vents are called fumaroles, and this one in Dominica is very hot at around 90 degrees Celsius or 195 Fahrenheit. It is the second largest of its kind in the world. The Boiling Lake is not far from the capital, but if you want to check this natural stove, get a guide. The area around the lake is known as the Valley of Desolation. Just saying. Number 10. The Love Lakes. Al Qudra Oasis is an artificial lake complex just outside Dubai. The Love Lakes in the oasis are formed by two connected lakes shaped like interlocked hearts. Opened in 2018, the lakes are surrounded by heart-shaped trees, flowers, picnic spots, and running tracks. The Emiratis love to terraform and have not stopped there with another lake in the shape of the crescent moon, opened in 2021. Number 11. Asphalt Lake. La Brea Pitch Lake in Trinidad and Tobago is the biggest natural asphalt lake in the world. It is very large and very deep, estimated to have 10 million tons of asphalt. Natural asphalt, also called bitumen, is a semi-solid form of oil. It is not uncommon, often found in the mud at the bottom of lakes. The asphalt from Pitch Lake has been mined since at least the 19th century, including by a businessman called the Asphalt King. The material is supposedly used in the roads around Buckingham Palace and the Lincoln Tunnel in New York. Number 12. The Pink Lake. This Willy Wonka fever dream is Lake Hillier, off the coast of Western Australia. It was located on a chain of islands, the largest one of which, for clarity, is called the Middle Island. Lake Hillier gets its bright bubblegum color from the red and purple microbes, which love its saline waters. They're the only ones who can survive in it. The lake is a striking view, separated from the Southern Ocean by a small strip of sand. It was mapped by a British explorer in 1802, who named it after a crew member who died from dysentery, while his ship was docked on the island. Microbes 1, humans 0. Number 13. The Hellish Lakes. The Hells of Beppu are not lakes and not hellish. These 7 geothermal springs or onsens are in Japan's Kyushu Island in Oita Prefecture. Each of the 7 has different characteristics and colors with names like Mud Hell, Sea Hell, Cooking Pot Hell, or Blood Pond Hell. Oniyama Jigoku, or Devil Mountain Hell, also has crocodiles brought for some reason, and they thrive in hot water. Nope, changed my mind. Actually, Hellish Lakes. The Japanese government designated the Hells of Beppu a place of scenic beauty, and they continue to be popular with tourists. If you are into non-crocodile water swimming, the town of Beppu has 3,000 onsens to enjoy. Number 14. The Blue Lake. The lowest point in the whole of Africa is Lake Assal in the tiny country of Djibouti. The lake may look like a blue lagoon with white sands, but is in fact a lake of salt. It does not outflow, and the water slowly evaporates in the scorching sun and the desert winds. Part of the lake crystallized to a solid salt surface. The other is a liquid brine that has 10 times more salt than seawater. The area of Lake Assal is the home of the Afar nomad tribes, who extract the salt and carry it by camels and donkeys. The lake salt has been transported for centuries on the ancient caravan route to Ethiopia, where it has been exchanged for ivory, coffee, and even slaves. Lake Assal salt waters can treat skin conditions, muscle pain, and arthritis. Number 15. The Salty Lake. Lake Assal may be salty and the 3rd lowest point below sea level, but this one beats it. The Dead Sea is many things, but not a sea. This vast lake bordering Israel, the West Bank, and Jordan breaks many records. It is the lowest land-based elevation on Earth at 430 meters or 1,400 feet below sea level. It is the deepest saline lake in the world and has one of the saltiest waters. The Dead Sea has been a human settlement area for centuries and has been a resort since the Roman Empire. Remember the health benefits of swimming in salty water. It is famous for many things, including the Dead Sea Scrolls found in the nearby hills. Today the lake struggles, shrinking in size, and now is less than 60% of what it was a century ago. Number 16. The Artificial Lake. The damming of rivers often creates reservoirs such as this one in northern Italy. Lake Resia, or Reschensee in German, is next to the border with Austria. In 1950, authorities decided to build a dam and merge 2 nearby lakes, submerging a village called Curon. More than 160 homes, including a 14th century church tower, went underwater. In 2021, the dam was drained for repairs, and the village resurfaced for the first time after 70 years. The area can be rediscovered again in the form of an Italian supernatural TV drama, Curon hiding somewhere in the depths of Netflix. Number 17. The Water Palace Lake. In the middle of Mansagar Lake in the Indian city of Jaipur is the beautiful Water Palace. The lake and the palace were created in the 17th century by a local ruler, and later another ruler enlarged and renovated it to enjoy picnics and hunt ducks. The interior of the palace is not accessible, but looking from the shore during dusk, the palace creates the illusion that it's floating in the middle of the lake. Gorgeous. Number 18. The Volcano Lake. Volcanic crater lakes are created when volcanoes erupt and the surface explodes or collapses. Taal in the Philippines is one such lake, formed between 500,000 and 100,000 years ago. It surrounds the Taal volcano. Taal Lake is freshwater and was once connected to the sea before the volcano erupted and blocked the outlet. The volcano is quite active, with the latest eruptions in 2021 and 2022. The lake has several endemic species, including a rare sea snake. Angry volcanoes aside, the lake is picturesque and used to be called Bombone. Number 19. The New Lake. In January 2010, a huge landslide blocked the Hunza River in the mountains of Kashmir in Pakistan for 5 months. It destroyed villages, killing and displacing thousands of people. Out of the disaster, the river created Asphalt Lake. Today, the lake has become popular, with its depths of over 100 meters or 330 feet, and the clear blue waters meandering around the valley. It is ideal for boat rides and jet skis, while the locals build guest houses and hotels to cater to the tourists. Number 20. The Lotus Lake. The 460 square kilometers, or 180 square miles of Thale Noi is one of the largest natural freshwater lakes in Southeast Asia. The wetlands are full of orchids, lotus flowers, aloe, and many types of fish, birds, reptiles, and mammals like the water buffalo. As you can imagine, the wetlands are under threat from agriculture, harvesting of plants, and hunting. The lake's official name is Thale Noi Non-Hunting Area, to give you some indications. Number 21. The Polluted Lake. Lake Karachay was a small lake in the Ural Mountains in central Russia. In the 1950s, the Soviets started dumping radioactive waste from the nearby nuclear facility Mayak. The initial plan was to move the waste from the lake, but it proved impossible due to the high radiation levels. Over the years, authorities gradually closed the lake and filled it with rocks, dirt, and 10,000 concrete blocks to prevent the bottom from shifting. Today, Karachay, which means black water, is likely the most radioactive place on Earth. Before it was covered, an hour on the shore would kill a person. On that cheery note, number 22, the Clean Lake. In south-central Oregon, in the park named after it, lays Crater Lake, a volcanic cauldron filled with rain and snowfall. Crater Lake is the deepest lake in North America, at close to 600 meters, about 2,000 feet. Without any rivers, the waters of Crater Lake are some of the cleanest in the world, with waters transparent 37 meters or 120 feet deep. Native American oral history describes the formation of the lake for thousands of years ago, and native tribes still honor the lake as the abode to the Great Spirit. If none of this convinces you to make a trip that way, the lake boasts 2 small islands, called Wizard Island and Phantom Ship. Number 23. The Marble Caves Lake. General Carrera Lake in Patagonia is split between 2 countries, Chile and Argentina. They also split the name. In Argentina, for some reason, it's called Buenos Aires Lake, although the city is more than 1,000 miles away. The local tribes have their own name, Chilenco. Ignoring the mess with the name, the large glacial lake is famous for the series of naturally sculpted caves out of marble. There are marble caverns, columns, and tunnels with lovely names, such as the Marble Caves, Marble Chapel, and Marble Cathedral. The best time to visit is in the morning, when the caves and the water have turquoise colors. Number 24. The Sapphire Lakes. These 6 deep blue lakes hide high in the Hindu Kush mountains of Afghanistan. Bandi Amir Lakes is the first natural park in the country. They are natural dams locked in by travertine walls, a type of limestone, surrounded by the lunar landscape of the mountain desert. Bandi Amir means the Commander's Dam, or the Amir's Dam. This is a reference to Ali, the 4th Caliph of Islam. According to the legend, Ali performed miracles to form the dams. He used several household items, such as a mite sword, some cheese, mint plants, freed slaves, and magic. All these wonders created the 6 lakes, giving them unforgettable names. Number 25. The Beautiful Lakes. Choosing a favorite, most beautiful lake is like choosing your favorite type of pizza. Very difficult. Get away from here, pineapple. We went with 5 of the most spectacular inland bodies of water that can go on any postcard. Starting with the Lake of Sainte-Croix in southern France, somewhere between Nice and Marseille. It was created artificially in the 1970s by the eponymous dam, becoming the 3rd largest in the country. Today, it is a perfect place for swimming, sailing boats, kayaking, and windsurfing. Lake Bled in Slovenia might as well be the national emblem, because it has everything. Scenic views? Check. Blue waters? Check. Blue waters with healing powers? Check. Medieval castle? Check. An island with a church? Check. And if that's not enough, there is a whole fairy tale about the local oarsmen who are descendants of 22 families chosen by a queen. Even today, only the selected men can carry pilgrims on their wooden boats. Moraine Lake in Alberta, Canada is one of those iconic views that people recognize even if they can't remember from where. No surprise, because Moraine has appeared in everything, from Canadian bills and coins to phone panels and your Windows background picture, and recently fishing video games. Its azure waters offer the best panoramas of the Valley of the 10 Peaks, and are somewhat a rite of passage for every nature photographer. The long lake in Jiuzhaigou Valley in southwestern China is a picturesque natural landscape. Its 7 kilometers, 5 miles of blue waters reflect the beauty scenery of snow-capped peaks, lush green forests, and cascading waterfalls. According to the legend, its deep waters hide a monster. It must be a friendly monster though, in this picture-perfect scenery. We have to end it with the one lake that is called the lake. Lake Tahoe breaks several North American records as the largest alpine lake and the second deepest. It is famous for its stunning views of the Sierra Nevada, its winter ski resorts, summer outdoor fun, quality restaurants, and casino hotels, and as the dramatic backdrop for some lost brotherly love.
Holy Mary, Mother of God.
Lake Tahoe offers world-class fishing, a prestigious boating competition, and was the favorite lake of Mark Twain, and you can't really argue with that. Hope you enjoyed our refined selection of 2556 spectacular lakes. If you want more lakes, there's a whole encyclopedia or Lakeopedia to pick your favorite in the description. Goodbye!